Today I'm looking at one of the coolest used bargains you can get, the 2018 Audi S5. The Audi S5 kind of combines the best parts of a sporty car, but also isn't too crazy. So it's a really great car to daily, and I just love the way it looks. It's a little bit less aggressive than the competitors like the BMW M4 and the C63 by Mercedes, but coming into the front, it still has these nice little aggressive accents. This particular car has pretty good looking carbon down below, and something I really like about this is the front grille. When you look at this car head on, I think it's a really great look how you have these lines coming in on the hood to this massive black honeycomb grille. The side view of the S5 I think looks so classic. It's that sporty coupe classic look. You have all the right proportions, and the front 3/4 angle is just so good. It really does look pretty mean, and for being a car that you can drive every single day and will be comfortable, it just doesn't get a whole lot better than this. As we work our way down the car, you have some nice looking, I think 19-inch wheels. These are definitely a lot sportier than the normal A4, and you also have the red brake calipers behind it, which again just sets it apart. Audi doesn't do a ton of differences compared to their basic cars all the way up to the RS cars, but it's the small things that really make a difference. Another signature feature that marks that this is an S5 are the mirror caps. On most of the S4, S5, Audi S cars, you have those silver mirror caps, and against this black, it looks really, really classy. You can start to get a peek of the interior, which we'll go over, but it has completely red guts, which again, just make this thing look a lot more sporty. As we come to the back, you notice a few different things. First, you do have a nice little side sill right there. Coming in close, you can see the quad exhaust pipes, which look really nice. And you see these upgraded LED tail lights. If I just press the unlock button, you can see you have that cool motion that goes from the right to the left when you unlock or when you turn the car. This has blacked out badges as well that just goes perfectly with the paint. This particular car has a nice carbon fiber rear diffuser. It definitely looks a lot better than the OEM plastic one and accents the black of the car really well. It also goes nicely with this little carbon fiber lip. I like that it's not uber aggressive and not, outrageous, but it's just a little something to set it apart from your normal A5 or even normal S5. Now, I actually used to own a Audi S4, which had the older variation of this engine. It had a supercharged 6-cylinder, and this is the newer version, the B9 version, where they actually switched to turbocharged. So this is a turbocharged 6-cylinder engine. It actually makes around the same horsepower. It's roughly 340 horsepower. So it's kind of an interesting move that they switched from supercharging it to turbocharging it, but it didn't really change the power or torque. My guess is that it's largely in the efficiency of daily driving. With turbochargers, you get a lot more efficient daily usable torque, and it can be much more fuel efficient as well. But I'm definitely interested to see how this engine handles and kind of works compared to my old supercharged V6. Holding down the trunk button, you can see that it's actually fairly spacious in here. Of course, the owner has some backpacks and stuff like that, but you can see you can fit 3-4 suitcases in here, no problem. The seats also fold down, so if you wanted to bring some very large luggage or something like that, you would have no issue fitting in the S5. When it comes to Audi interior, you typically have a lot of similar stuff from their lower range models all the way to their higher range models. On this S5, you have a few things that kind of differentiate it compared to the lower models. First, you can see these gorgeous red leather seats. It looks really nice, especially when you kind of contrast it with the black exterior. I really like just how sporty this seat looks, and it just looks very, very nice. This sort of pattern in the leather also makes it look extra sporty and, a little bit more elevated compared to your traditional Audi interior. The other special things are things like this red stitching, this nice Alcantara material, and of course you have the carbon fiber accents, which are also more on the inside. But if we take a step in to the car, you'll start to be greeted by a lot of familiar things, but of course, everything is just a little bit more elevated. You have a nice steering wheel that is accented with this red stitching and also has a flat bottom that is a lot different than you're going to see on your normal lower model Audis. If I just give it one click here, you'll also see this car has something which is known as the electronic display. You'll see this entire screen right here is completely electronic. You don't have any, physical tacks anymore. And I think that just gives it a very, very cool look. You can see this revs up to 7,000 RPM here. And in the center console, although these sorts of things and right here are in most new B9 Audis, you do have carbon fiber running all along here, and also a nice one-piece carbon fiber piece of trim right there. Now this car, while I don't know if you'd want to be in there for a long drive, it does have back seats, and it looks like, as you can see, there's a little bit of leg room. But overall, if you want to throw your gym bag or stuff in the back, it definitely has a lot more practicality than a pure two-seater. But again, I just love how sporty these seats look. They're just really a great accent piece. Driving the S5, I've immediately put it into dynamic mode. This has an 8-speed automatic, so let's see how the performance of this car is, especially when comparing it to my old S4. Let's give it a little gas. Has a nice tone. When you step on it, it definitely moves. I wouldn't say it's the fastest, most accelerating car you can buy. Of course, I think its competitors have a bit more performance. Something like the BMW M4 or the Mercedes C63 will definitely have a more of a performance feel. But when you downshift, you get this little tiny backfires. Sounds pretty good overall. It's an extremely soft ride, even in dynamic. It really is just a super, super comfortable car. You can have it in full auto mode and really just cruise. I do like that you can just hear the exhaust a little bit, even at idle. All right, let's step on it. It almost sounds like a DSG sort of fart noise, but even though it's an automatic, it still has retained that, which I think is pretty funny. Classic Audi, but it does sound really good. It keeps pulling. It definitely has more RPM range than I expected. It has a 6,500 RPM redline, which is pretty good overall. And when you're driving this thing, I think most people are probably driving this as their daily, so they care most about the actual comfort of the car. Of course, you want something that can pass people, can accelerate, but above everything, you care that it's comfortable, that you're not going to be getting beaten up. And this car, for those reasons, is pretty perfect. The sound is good as well. If I put it into manual, downshift, you start to have those little backfires, which, yeah, they do sound pretty good. It's nowhere near as, backfirey as a C63 or something like that. But as far as giving you a little more noise, it definitely works. Let's get on it once again. Second gear, 20 miles an hour. I think the shifting up noise is definitely my favorite part. That sort of small kick in the back and just loud pop sound is by far the best thing. It was my favorite thing on my Audi S4 as well. But these cars, when you're accelerating hard and you're shifting up, it really makes it a special feel. This instrument gauge cluster is awesome. I kind of wish I had this digital tach in my own car. But yeah, it's just a lovely place to be. The seats are super comfortable. The owner said that it even has a massage feature. Let's get on this thing a little bit and see how it performs. It moves. It's pretty quick. Overall, I think it gives you what you need. This isn't a car that you're going to be, Autobahn killing, but as far as a daily car that you can use, is comfortable, and when you put your foot down will give you something to smile about, it's definitely all that. If I go ahead and put it in comfort mode, out of manual, yeah, it acts just like every other Audi you've driven. It becomes even quieter. It shifts under 2,000 RPM, and it becomes something that you really can daily with zero interruptions. The coolest part about this car, I think, is that you don't have to compromise. It's a car that, you don't have to be beaten up or shaken around. It's a car that you can live with every single day, but when you want, you put it in dynamic, you shift down a couple times, and you floor it. And you can have fun. That is the best part about this car. And I think the people who buy this type of car want something that they can use every day, but they can also have fun with. And this car is just so lovely at that. If you're looking for the best combination of sporty but also daily usability, definitely the Audi S5 is for you. If you're interested in this particular car, it is for sale and it is a crazy deal. Check out the link in my description for more, and thanks so much for watching. Many more to come.